What is up, guys? Exclusive Gaming here, and today I'm going to give you my review of Windows 8. This is my first review, so I will adjust things in the future if necessary for future reviews. This review is going to consist of Windows 8 Pro with Media Center 64-bit, and pretty much all my review is going to be based off my experience with the Windows 8 desktop, which I am right here. I'm on my gaming rig right here. You can see right here, Windows 8 Pro with Media Center. It's a 64-bit. So my experience is going to be based off this right here, which is my gaming desktop. And I also will include my Sony Vaio Ultrabook over here, which is a touchscreen laptop. So I will be able to use the touchscreen interface. Well, let's get started. Let me close this. So start off, Windows 8 is sold for $119.99 USD. It has a few features that the Windows 8 Pro doesn't have. Windows Pro is $199.99, and the benefits it has is the fact that you can enhance data protection with BitLocker, and you can also host a remote desktop connection on your own PC. And you can also connect to corporate or school networks with domain join. There's the main differences. Really, mostly you would really just want Windows 8 upgrade. You wouldn't really need Windows 8 Pro unless you actually really need maybe there connects to corporate or school network domain join. I haven't tried that. I'm not sure how that works, but I imagine that remote desktop connection would be useful if you have a laptop and a desktop and you want to connect to it via remote desktop connection. But overall, that's the pricing. So first thing I'm going to talk about is the desktop. I'm going to tell you what I dislike about the desktop. And there's not much things I don't really like about the desktop. The desktop is actually pretty fine. Probably the main concern that would affect everyone is the fact that they remove the start menu. The start menu is no longer here. There's no way to get it back unless you download a third-party application. So that's annoying because ever since XP and even maybe Windows 98 and 95, those had a start menu. But now, since we've into Windows 8, we no longer have a start menu, and I believe that is because the influence of tablet devices coming out. But that does not mean Microsoft has the right to just say, since tablets are coming out, everyone's going to need a tablet. There's no point of having a start menu. Clearly, they are wrong in that perspective. But another bad thing about this thing is some of the features don't work like on previous Windows operating systems, like on Windows 7. I'll give you an example of one. Let me just search for a program called the Policy Editor, Edit Group Policy, and this is one of I've only found one thing that doesn't work in Windows 8, and there's probably a few more, but honestly these shouldn't really affect you unless you really know what you're doing. You know how to go into, how to edit some serious settings. So if I go under here under Windows Components and I go to Tablet PC and go over cursors, here's one of them that annoys me a lot. So clearly it says turn off pen feedback, and I have it enabled. So that therefore turn pen feedback, it should be off because it's enabled. So if I go over here and turn on my wireless tablet over here, and if I take my pen here and I control my computer here, you clearly see when I click, you see little rings. Those little rings is pen feedback, but it shouldn't be there because it's enabled. So that's one of probably the most annoying things I find when I'm using my tablet. So if you do have a tablet, whether it be like a tablet PC or an actual tablet you work on, that would be annoying, especially if you're like a graphic designer. But that's just one of the features, and I imagine there's a few more, but honestly if you're just the standard PC user, these shouldn't really affect you much at all. So the next thing I want to talk about is the good things about the desktop. Well, one good thing I find is the taskbar has not changed much. Pretty much it's the same. You can drag right to bring up a list of recent things. You can pin things to the taskbar. You can have toolbars, address bars. Only slight differences, like if you click on the network tab, it brings over the networks on the right. Honestly, there's not much changes at all in the taskbar, which is great. Another good thing is the fact that the locations have not changed in the system, such as the app data folder, the users folder, the program files, the system. All those files are pretty much in the same location, so navigating through the files should not be difficult at all. The next thing I want to talk about is the menu bar in Windows Explorer. So if I go over here to pull up maybe put in my documents here, You see up here at the top in the menu bar, you actually got a fair amount of options. You got copy, paste, cut, copy paths, paste shortcut, move to, delete, rename, new folder, new item, easy access. You got a bunch of selections over here, and plus you got more tabs for sharing, burning, viewing, changing, details pane to verse preview pane, managing, and you also got library tools. You can also, in photos, you can go to like photo edit, and they bring up some photo related applications. It's just really nice. I don't use it much, but it's just a nice touch. The next thing I would like to talk about is better searching. The searching in Windows 8, in my experience, is pretty well. For some reason in Windows 7 I couldn't do really well when it came to searching for a file or a folder. So it's pretty simple. Like if I were, I'm going to go to my X drive, or my my X drive, and I'm going to search for a document such as Windows 8 review. And there it is, Windows 8 review document, which I have running on my other monitor over here. So that's pretty nice. It's really fast. It's probably because I'm running this computer on a solid-state drive, but even regardless on the old system, it just wouldn't find the file, which I find an improvement. Also, in case you're wondering, I am using 3 monitors here, technically 2 monitors and a projector setup over here. But overall, it's really nice, especially for multitasking, which I'll get into later. So the next new feature I've used a lot is the fact that Windows now operates ISO files. Meaning if an ISO file, you can mount it without using third-party software, which is great. And I'll show you that right here when I go into videos and I have an ISO right here. I'm just going to right-click, going to go into mount. Oh, there's a problem, could not mount file. Actually, yep, the reason is it's already mounted. You can see right here it's already mounted. I forgot to unmount it. And to unmount it, simply right-click and hit eject, and there you go, it's unmounted. So the fact that it supports ISO is really nice because I use that file a lot, or that file type. Another good thing I would say is the commands are the same, such as Control-Shift-Escape to bring up the task manager, Control-Alt-Delete, Control-C, Control-X, Control-V, Control-Y. All those commands are the same, which is very nice. Control-E is probably the number one I use, but that's really nice. Places that it can improve. Probably it needs to have like an advanced user mode or some setting you can tick to enable, like, to get your start menu back and bring up the advanced features that most hardcore, PC gamers or PC users enjoy, or it's just easier for them instead of having to deal with all this Metro UI and all this. Okay, so let's go on and review the Metro interface. So the Metro interface. There's a lot of things I dislike about it. One, it's kind of designed for tablets, which is another reason I don't like it. But another thing is I'm not really the target demographic for this. I believe the Windows 8 target demographic is sort of for people that are new to PC or they want to like make things simple. I'm clearly not like that. I like things complicated. I like to be able to I like to fine-tune things in Windows. Like I'm running like my operating system on an SSD, and I'm now running all my data off a hard drive by going into the registry editor and moving files around. I like doing, customizing my Windows experience versus having everything laid out nice and simply, which is not bad, but I'm just not the type of person that likes that. Honestly, this interface right here that you can scroll back and forth, and you can also create little tab groups and all that, I don't use this interface at all. I honestly don't at all. I really don't use it. It's just like for me, I wouldn't use it. The apps are very simple. Another thing, like if I go into my mail here, all I see is literally, got my standard folders, and that's it. Search, that's it. And this goes for all the apps, the music app, this app, most of all of the apps are too simple for me. I just prefer things more complex, but that's just me. It could be good, but I personally don't really like it. So the next thing is searching in categories. Like I said, searching in the desktop mode is really nice, and searching in Metro mode is actually pretty nice as well. The only issue I have is Microsoft made the stupid idea of separating everything into categories. So as you can see, they have apps, which is, I forgot what command that was, but they have apps, settings, and files. I don't like any of those because, meaning if you're searching for something, it's just going to search from whatever defaultly what you're in. I understand for searching in certain applications because those tie with the applications such as Box or Finance or Games or Google Search, but application settings and files should all be together in my opinion. I imagine they could have done a better way of organizing it. But just like the desktop mode, it is flawless. It works very nicely. Hmm. So, another dislike I hate the most is the fact that there are now ads in Windows. Sometimes in certain applications you'll see advertisements, and I honestly dislike the idea of having ads for things that run on my computer. It's just, I I don't know why Microsoft made it that way. Maybe it was a budget issue. I don't know. But honestly, it's not a good idea to have ads on your applications, or even the applications that come with Windows that are published by Microsoft. Those have advertisements in them as well. I just don't like that type. And then the App Store also has a terrible selection of applications as well. There's really no point even going in the App Store. Like I said, I don't even use the interface to begin with. One thing I like about it, like I said, searching is smoother. But there is a few useful apps. Like I use one of them, which is called Music. And the good thing about Music is the fact that it doesn't have to take up my entire monitor on my left, because I would normally drag this to the other monitor. I can actually resize this by dragging it down and then dragging it to the right, and I can just have it running over here taking up little to no space. Then I can bring up my desktop, drag it over here, and there we go, we got a desktop. So this is really nice, and especially if I wanted to expand this, all it is simply drag it over, and there's some albums, and I can scroll left and right, and etc. That's really nice, and I'll just simply drag this over to my left monitor and even take up less room. So that's really nice. The animations are nice and smooth. Everything runs fine, especially I like how you can play music over here. Other than that, that's pretty much about it. There's really not much change in the Windows 8. Well, there's a lot of change in Windows 8. There's just not enough change to like want you to buy Windows 8. If you have Windows 7, in my opinion, stick with Windows 7, because in my opinion that is a very solid operating system. It's I just hit my mic, sorry about that. It's just really solid. Windows 8 is also solid. It just doesn't target the people. It's targeted more towards laptop users and or touchscreen laptop users. By the way, I also don't use any of these features on my laptop either. I just use some of the touch commands like closing windows and dragging things around with my finger. But other than that, I don't use the Metro UI even on my touchscreen laptop. But as I was saying, this system is not really designed for desktops. It sort of works for laptops, even though you're probably going to ignore it. At least I did. But tablets, like pure tablets, this operating system is great for tablets. But laptops, it's a little okay-ish. It's just a little extra. On desktop, there's really no reason for at all for you to get this operating system. So this is my review, and hopefully this guy's helped you. And well, I'll see you guys later in my next review.